We were having a discussion about flat Earth, and Phil happens to be a pilot. And I happen to have a laundry list of questions that I've always wanted to ask a pilot. And I haven't been flying in a long time, but I happen to take advantage of the fact that we were down on the ground together, and I stopped him, and he was very generous enough to give me his time and his insights on a few things that maybe we take for granted when it comes to the shape of the Earth. So I'm going to re-ask those questions to Phil now, and we're going to reiterate a couple of things that maybe are overlooked. Phil, this is Phil.
Hi everyone, I'm Captain Phil Marshall from Papua New Guinea. I have been flying since 1985, so this year would be 36 years. Commercially, around about 32 years. So I first went to Papua New Guinea in search of aviation work, and then stayed for a year or two, and 35 years later we're still there.
Is it fair to say that you, as a pilot, for many years, have been flying over a flat plane or a curved Earth?
Well, when you take off it's flat, and all the way there it's flat. And by the time you get there, you land on a flat surface. So it's not at all obvious there's any curve. So what it is, we're not sure, but it's definitely not falling off the curve of the Earth. Ever.
Tell us, what are some of the highest altitudes that these Airbuses that you fly go at?
We're at 45,000 above most of the weather, above most of everything. And being above most of the weather at that point, you can still see the tops of the weather off into the distance in every direction. There's an inversion layer and a level where it settles off at. It's usually uniform into the distance as far as the eye can see.
What are some of the instruments that are used in the cockpit itself to determine flight level, altitudes, attitudes, all that sort of stuff, gyroscopes?
And you would have what's called an artificial horizon and an altimeter. And in the level cruise flight, the aeroplane will sit slightly nose up on the horizon the entire trip, with the altimeter maintaining its same altitude the entire trip. So there was no pushing forward or flying over the curve of anything. You were actually maintaining a slightly nose up attitude the entire way at a certain altitude until you decide you're going down at the other end. And then you commence your descent in accordance with the profile as if it were flat.
What about like the spin of the Earth itself? Are airplanes actually accounting for Coriolis effect? Do they have to, when they're coming in for a landing, is that even taken into an account?
That's not something that is really discussed at all. It's mentioned in texts and what have you in early training, but so far as normal day-to-day operation, that's the least thing on your mind. You're only considering wind conditions and what have you for a safe landing.
All you're looking down at is a patchwork of flat land that just extends in all directions.
Depends what you're flying over. In the country I fly, there's many mountains, and it's a lot of terrain. But when you put yourself in a oceanic situation across water and what have you, it's once again appears to be quite reasonably flat. I couldn't say either way. But we're not flying over a curve or pushing forward to get over the curve at any time.
What you're saying is that airline pilots don't account for the curvature of the Earth in any way whatsoever.
From a flying point of view and operating the aircraft, you're operating it in terms of a situation where it's flat. You're taking off, flying level and cruising for a period of time and then descending. So far as any mathematical calculation, nothing comes into it. There's maps and cartography and the shape of the Earth and all the things they'll tell you about the curve and why when we come to America you've got to fly over Japan, which is odd. But if you lie the map out flat, it has you flying over Japan from Hong Kong.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Phil, when you're up there, what is it that people get mistaken for when they think that they're seeing curvature of the Earth?
That's a total guess, but one of the most common things is, depending on the aircraft design, a windshield and certain window designs are actually curved to start with. So by looking through that, it distorts your actual perception of it. So depending on which window you're looking through, you may end up seeing a curve that's a curve of the actual windscreen itself. Total guess.
That seems to line up with a lot of what NASA seems to put out, and maybe you're familiar with a lot of their documents. They have written several times within archives and archives of documents that everything is based off of a flat, non-rotating surface. That all of their rocket launches and space shuttle missions all start from a default, non-rotating flat surface. Does that kind of jives with airline pilots?
I guess it would. I'm not totally familiar with their writings or text, but the basic planning and flight planning takes into account you're starting off, taking off on a flat surface, or depending which airstrip you're on, some in the mountains, but generally for airliners, fly to a target altitude, maintain that for a period, and then commence a descent in accordance with the constant angle to the touchdown point. No consideration of curve at all.
Did you know that every gyroscope for an airplane is actually adjusted when it is made to be gathering empirical data over a flat and non-rotating surface? So what this means is that it is built and designed to determine if the plane is level with the flat and non-rotating surface below it. So if the globe was spinning at 1,000 miles per hour and we had curvature of 8 inches per mile squared and we were 37,000 feet above sea level, then the gyroscope would have to constantly recalculate where that level is, and the plane would have to consistently tilt its nose down during the entire flight. But that doesn't happen. Go in a plane, and you can hold a level up to the plane when it is at cruising speed, and it is not tilting its nose down at all. It is remaining level. And the gyroscope is designed to determine your position in space and time in relation to the flat and non-rotating surface below you. This is what every single gyroscope has been designed to do. So why do they tell us that gyroscopes just automatically keep recalculating for level and that planes have to tilt their nose down when you can use your 5 senses, you can use logic, and you can determine this for yourself that that is not true?
Mind if I take a little peek in the cockpit? Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Awesome. Cool, you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Okay, everybody's leaving here. How long?
Just about like the flight of descent. When it comes to the flight of descent, we fly at like what, 3,100 feet? 37?
We were at 28,000.
28,000. From the top of the altitude, from the time we hit the runway.
It takes about 3 miles per 1,000 feet that we have to lose.
Okay. So when it comes to the flight of descent, do you have to compensate for curvature?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
Okay. So whenever you land like east to west, do you ever have to like slow down or speed up whenever you land?
Depends on, periodically. It depends on wind usually. So.
What do you mean depends on wind?
Well, it's a function of ground speed.
A function of ground speed?
Ground speed, right.
So like
wind in your face, then you're going to be slower.
No, like if you're landing east, and then if you're landing west,
right?
Would you have to like slow down or speed up due to Earth's motion?
No.
No?
Nope.
So
Earth's motion has nothing to do with it.
So we don't compensate for the curvature whenever we're landing.
We don't do anything.
And then we don't do anything when it comes to the motion of Earth.
Curvature is.
So Earth has to be a level stationary plane, right?
Fairly.
Did you see this interview with the Artemis astronauts recently? Oh, it's gold. Check this out. First, the interviewer frames the statement as a mockery. That's brainwashing psychology 101. Now, watch how they answer.
I cannot tell you how many people have said, oh, you're going to see the actronauts. The actronauts. There are still people who do not believe that this happened. How do you handle that?
I ignore it.
You ignore it?
Yeah, but not. I think that's maybe not even the right word. It's not how you feel about it either.
Wait, did you just interrupt and correct this woman? The woman who has dual degrees in physics and electrical engineering literally built instruments for NASA planetary missions and survived a year wintering over at the South Pole as a wilderness search and rescue firefighter. That woman odd she didn't seem to mind. Anyway, let's listen to more of what Captain Mansplainer has to say.
I want people to critically think about things and not just accept everything that they see. To me, it's speaking to some need that we're not filling. And I'd love to help them fill it. I don't know how to do it.
Let me help you out there, Captain. You just have to really go into space and not just pretend or stop lying about it and get a real job. It's quite simple. Now listen to what this guy says.
I think it's important to acknowledge that sometimes those are people who want to be heard. And so I process it the same way I process people that say we're spending too much money on that and we have problems here on Earth. When I just listen, those are the best interactions with folks like that because they're not always trying to get an answer. They just want to be heard.
Yeah.
Did you get that, folks? It's a you problem. You need attention. You need to be heard. A classic deflection technique used by dishonest people. I mean, you should believe them. They have blue suits on constantly. How are they not real astronauts? Hey, I'm an Artemis astronaut. Check me out.
Catch you later, Earth followers. I need to find some zero-gravity bread.
If you're gonna believe in some of the things, then you're kind of forced into believing all of the things. Like if you're gonna believe that the Artemis mission was real and they actually just circled the moon, then you're kind of forced into believing things like the Katy Perry space trip. Because a big part of your whole logic, I'm talking about the believers, is why would they lie to us and we have it on film? So by believing in the Artemis mission, you're not only forced to believe that a flower can survive in space,
but daisies are just so resilient.
But you're also forced into believing that 70-year-old women can survive going 25,000 miles an hour through the atmosphere to reach space, and then crashing back into the Earth at 25 miles an hour into solid ground.
The dust, it's a very soft landing despite the sporty
No oxygen masks and no helmets on. I'm not even gonna get into it, but you also have to believe that this thing right here was capable of doing 25,000 miles an hour to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, when its heat shield was literally tin foil. But I mean, why would they lie to us, right?
And so, it's been really, really incredible. So yeah, it's been really, really incredible. So yeah,
it's so funny when people get mad at you for using logical thinking. I mean, with all the gravitational pull that holds those gallons of water to the Earth as it's spinning through space, a simple beach ball is still able to float across the surface. Sorry, the Earth is flat.
How did Nixon call up the astronauts on the moon in 1969 with a dial-up phone? But we can't even get a signal when we're in the elevator. Isn't that concerning?
This is how the Bible describes the cosmology of the earth, and I'm about to prove it to you. The word firmament comes from the Hebrew word rakia, meaning expanse or spread out. When the Hebrew scholars translated the Hebrew into Greek, they used the word stereoma. The word stereoma means firm or solid, like a physical structure, as it's talking about the dome over the earth. Isaiah 40:22 says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in." What does a tent look like? This is what a tent would look like in biblical times. It's the same as modern day times. In Genesis, it says it took one full day to create the firmament. So if you were to just throw the firmament into the nothingness of space, you're basically saying the firmament means nothing, which is not true, because David in Psalm says the firmament declares the Most High's glory and handiwork. So you can't say the firmament is nothing. Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." So you can't say the firmament is just nothing. Job 37:18 says, "Can thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong as molten glass?" Molten glass is strong. It's a hard surface. It's talking about the firmament.
The Bible describes Earth as a flat disk covered by a solid dome called the firmament, with waters above and below it. Genesis chapter 1 explains that God separated the waters by creating this dome, placing stars and planets as lights attached to its surface. The sun and moon move across this dome in predictable patterns to create day and night. 4 corners anchor the Earth, with pillars supporting the entire structure above the deep waters below. This ancient Hebrew cosmology shows Earth as the center of creation, with heaven literally above the dome and Sheol beneath the foundations. While modern science presents a different picture, billions still find meaning in this biblical worldview that emphasizes our special place in God's creation. The firmament model actually makes more sense when you consider how ancient people observed the sky and tried to explain natural phenomena without telescopes or space exploration.
Hey, do you guys know what this is? Take a look at this. This is a Brazilian research station located way down in Antarctica, you see? And these small panels here, they are actually solar panels designed to capture energy from the sun, all right? And they're vertical, just like several other images, like this one, this truck, this car, right? This vehicle, which also uses solar panels, look, vertically. And the most interesting thing is that the panels are facing north. You know why that is, right? Why do solar panels in Antarctica have to be vertical and face north, right? Isn't that right? These solar panels, located deep in Antarctica, have been mounted in a strictly vertical position and are facing directly toward the north. Oh my goodness. Are you with me so far? So the sun is the one that orbits the Earth. And for those of you in Antarctica, the panels are always positioned to face the... Yeah.
96. It's a big boy. So I got two big guests. Big names, big bodies.
Huge.
Yeah, I don't even know if I introduce you to. You got Rampage the Legend Jackson here. You got Bradley. Meet me at 260. Martin.
How much you weigh right now?
Why people care if people believe in the earth the way the Bible describes it? Why do people get so mad about that?
Does the Bible describe it as flat?
Yeah.
It does?
With the dome, the firmament, and everything.
Oh, that's news to me.
That's new. You never read the Bible?
No.
That's the problem.
That is a problem. That's why I go to hell.
So why do people get mad at people if they just describe the earth the way the oldest history book describes it?
Yeah. So this mean you think it's flat?
Yep.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
But what were you gonna say about?
This is what changed me when I looked into emergency landings. Something simple as that. That's what changed me to go more to like, oh yeah. Then I went to the Bible and started reading with the Bible. You know, I used to be a Christian, so I was like, oh, I've read this stuff before, but we think of it different. I went there. Now I look at the Old Testament like a history book, and so I went and read it and like a history book. I was like, oh, okay, it broke everything down for me. But if you look into whenever you have time, just look into emergency landings.
What do you mean by emergency landing?
Like when say somebody's flying from Asia coming to LA, and like if it's an emergency or something, and then see like the way they land, and then you gonna think like, wow, that's not an emergency landing. They went all the way out the way, and then you got to break down why did they do that? Why they go all the way out the way, and they say it's an emergency landing. That's what changed my mind.
Why would they go all the way?
Exactly. That's the point.
Exactly.
But why would that prove that the Earth is flat if you go out of the way?
Because if it was an emergency, a real emergency, wouldn't you go somewhere closer?
You go somewhere closer?
And not somewhere out of the way?
When we see the emergency landing on the globe, it don't make sense.
Oh, because it's like this.
Yeah, so it's farther away.
Yeah.
So common sense would tell me that we're being lied to about the geography of our things.
Why lie to us about the Earth being round, though?
That's the big question.
If gravity is real, why is it when I fart, it rises straight to my nose? Gases are scalar, and boy, was that a big one. If the Earth was a globe, why is it that they refer the ocean as mean sea level? Because it's curved. I'll be here all night.
flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.